In the vast theater of the natural world, survival is a constant unfolding drama. For many creatures, the key to securing their next meal lies not in brute force or sheer speed, but in deception, patience, and extraordinary ingenuity. These are nature's master trappers, architects of some of the most sophisticated and deadly snares imaginable. From the shifting sands of the desert floor to the shadowy depths of a rainforest pool, life has engineered an astonishing array of mechanisms designed to lure, capture, and consume the unwary. It is a world of hidden dangers, where a single misstep can be the difference between life and death. Tonight, on behalf of IUF, we will journey into this clandestine world. We will peel back the curtain on the planet's most remarkable living traps, revealing the intricate mechanics and cunning strategies that make them so lethally effective. We will witness ambushes set with perfect precision, lures that exploit an enemy's deepest instincts, and prisons from which there is often no escape. If you find yourself captivated by the secret lives of these incredible creatures and wish to explore more of nature's wonders with us, do consider subscribing to the channel. Your support allows us to continue bringing these extraordinary stories to light. Now let our expedition into the world of deadly traps begin. Our journey begins in a seemingly tranquil, sun-scorched landscape. Here, in the fine, loose soil, a tiny predator has engineered a trap of devastating simplicity. This is the realm of the Antlion larva. It is not a creature of the chase, but one of patient, calculated design. With painstaking effort, it excavates a perfect conical pit in the sand. Using its flattened head as a miniature shovel, it flicks grain after grain of sand away, spiraling downwards, creating a depression whose sides are poised at the critical angle of repose. Any disturbance, no matter how slight, will trigger a miniature avalanche. This meticulously constructed funnel is more than just a hole. It is a vortex of doom for any small insect that wanders too close. An ant, perhaps, scurrying on its urgent business, steps onto the precipice. Instantly, the ground gives way beneath its feet. It scrabbles for purchase, but the loose sand offers none. Each desperate movement to climb out only serves to send more sand sliding down, pulling it ever closer to the center of the pit, where its architect lies in wait, buried and unseen. The antlion is the master of this treacherous terrain. If its victim shows any sign of escaping the sandy clutches of the slope, the larva employs a secondary tactic. It begins to flick sand with remarkable accuracy, launching tiny projectiles at the struggling insect. At the bottom of the funnel, a pair of formidable, sickle-shaped jaws erupts from the sand. The antlion larva seizes its prey, its powerful mandibles puncturing the ant's exoskeleton. It then pumps potent digestive enzymes into its victim's body, liquefying its internal tissues from the inside out. Once the feast is over, the antlion disposes of the evidence with a flick of its head, tossing the lifeless shell out of the pit. It then meticulously repairs its trap, smoothing the sandy slopes and resetting the stage for its next unsuspecting victim. We move now from the dry sands to the nutrient-poor bogs of the Carolinas, a place where the plants themselves have become the hunters. Here we find one of the most iconic and dramatic traps in the entire botanical kingdom, the Venus flytrap. Its jaws are not leaves in the traditional sense, but highly modified traps, fringed with cilia that interlock like the teeth of a steel snare. Each lobe of the trap is adorned with 3 tiny, almost invisible trigger hairs. These are the plant's delicate sensors, the key to its carnivorous lifestyle. The trap does not snap shut at the slightest touch. Such a reaction would be a waste of precious energy. Instead, it requires a specific sequence of events. This is a sophisticated system, designed to distinguish between a potential meal and a random raindrop or piece of debris. An inquisitive fly, drawn by the promise of sweet nectar secreted along the trap's rim, lands on the inviting surface. As it moves, it brushes against one of the trigger hairs. Nothing happens. The plant waits patiently. The fly continues its exploration and within 20 seconds, touches a second trigger hair, or the same one twice. This is the signal the plant has been waiting for. An electrical signal, remarkably similar to a nerve impulse in an animal, flashes across the lobes. In less than 1/10 of a second, the trap undergoes a dramatic transformation. Water rushes from the cells on the inside of the lobes to the cells on the outside, causing them to rapidly change from convex to concave. The green jaws snap shut with astonishing speed, imprisoning the fly. The initial closing is not a watertight seal. The cilia along the edges form a cage, allowing very small insects to escape. This is another energy-saving measure. A meal that is too small is not worth the digestive effort, but if the trapped insect is of a suitable size, its continued struggles inside the prison will stimulate the trigger hairs even further. This confirms the capture and signals the plant to begin the final phase. The trap seals itself completely, forming an airtight, stomach-like pouch around its victim. Now, the process of digestion begins. Over the course of 5 to 12 days, the plant slowly absorbs the nitrogen-rich soup, extracting the vital nutrients that the boggy soil cannot provide. Once the meal is finished, the trap reopens to the sun, casting aside the indigestible exoskeleton. The deadly, beautiful mechanism is now reset, ready once more to lure another victim into its lethal green embrace. We descend now into the leaf litter and soil of forests and grasslands, a world teeming with life, but also with hidden peril. Here, a master of camouflage and ambush has perfected the art of the surprise attack. This is the domain of the trapdoor spider. It does not spin an open web to snare its prey. Instead, it constructs a remarkable subterranean fortress. Using a combination of soil, vegetation, and its own silk, the spider builds a burrow, topped with a perfectly fitting hinged door. This door is a masterpiece of deception. It is so skillfully camouflaged with moss, soil, and local debris that it becomes virtually invisible, blending seamlessly into the forest floor. The spider lines the inside of its burrow and the underside of the door with silk, creating a smooth, comfortable living space. From the entrance, it lays out a series of silken tripwires, radiating outwards like the spokes of a wheel. These threads, almost invisible to the naked eye, are its early warning system. The spider spends most of its life inside this dark, silent chamber, one foot, or rather several legs, resting on the silken door and the connected tripwires. It is a life of extreme patience, waiting for the subtle vibrations that signal the approach of a meal. An unsuspecting beetle, a cricket, or even a small lizard wanders by, its footsteps disturbing the delicate silken threads. The vibrations travel down the lines, alerting the spider to the precise location, size, and speed of its potential victim. The moment the prey crosses a critical threshold, the trap is sprung. In a sudden explosive movement, the trapdoor flies open. The spider, a blur of fangs and fury, lunges from its hiding place, covering the short distance in a fraction of a second. It sinks its powerful, venomous fangs into the victim, injecting a potent neurotoxin that quickly paralyzes it. The attack is so swift, so unexpected, that the prey has virtually no time to react or defend itself. Before the victim's struggles can attract other predators, the spider quickly drags it backwards into the darkness of its burrow. The silken hinged door snaps shut behind them, once again vanishing into the landscape as if it were never there. This combination of architectural genius, flawless camouflage, and lightning-fast ambush makes the trapdoor spider one of the most efficient and startling hunters of the undergrowth. Our search for nature's most ingenious traps takes us now to the brackish waters of mangrove swamps and estuaries in Southeast Asia. Here, the line between water and air is a distinct hunting ground, and one fish has evolved a truly extraordinary method to bridge that gap. This is the archerfish. It preys on insects and other small creatures resting on the overhanging leaves and branches, a meal that seems tantalizingly out of reach for an aquatic predator. But the archerfish is a ballistic expert. It possesses a unique anatomical adaptation. By pressing its tongue against a groove in the roof of its mouth, it forms a narrow channel, effectively creating the barrel of a biological water pistol. When it spots a potential target, a grasshopper perched on a mangrove leaf, for instance, it rises to the surface, its eyes breaking the water. But there is a significant challenge to overcome: the refraction of light as it passes from water into air. This phenomenon distorts the apparent position of the target. An inexperienced archerfish will often miss. Through practice, however, it learns to compensate for this optical illusion, calculating the true location of its prey with remarkable precision. It can accurately hit targets up to 3 meters away, a phenomenal feat of natural marksmanship. With its target acquired and its calculations made, the archerfish takes aim. Then, by powerfully contracting its gill covers, it forces a jet of water at high pressure through the channel in its mouth. This jet is not just a spray, it is a coherent, powerful missile of water. The fish can even adjust the power of the shot depending on the size and distance of its prey. The watery bullet strikes the unsuspecting grasshopper with surprising force, knocking it from its perch and into the water below. The moment the insect hits the surface, the hunt enters its final phase. The archerfish, often anticipating the trajectory of its falling victim, darts forward to snatch its hard-won meal before its rivals can. This remarkable hunting strategy, combining specialized anatomy with learned skill and an understanding of physics, makes the archerfish a true sharpshooter of the animal kingdom. As dusk falls, we turn our attention to a nocturnal hunter that has abandoned the traditional web in favor of a far more active and honestly bizarre hunting technique. Meet the bolus spider. This small, unassuming arachnid is a specialist, a master of deception that targets a very specific prey, male moths of certain species. To catch them, it employs a weapon that is as strange as it is effective. A single line of silk, weighted with a large, incredibly sticky globule at the end, much like the bolus used by human hunters. The preparation for the hunt is meticulous. The spider hangs from a leaf or twig and carefully spins its weapon. The bola itself is a marvel of natural chemistry. The gluey ball is not just sticky. It is infused with a chemical cocktail that mimics the sex pheromones of a female moth. This is the heart of the spider's deception. It doesn't just wait for prey to stumble upon it. It actively calls its victims in, promising romance but delivering death. It is a fatal attraction, exploiting the most powerful drive of its target. With its scented lure prepared, the bolus spider begins its vigil. It holds the silk line with one of its front legs, waiting patiently in the dark. When it detects the wing beats of an approaching male moth, drawn in by the irresistible scent, it springs into action. This is not a passive trap. It requires timing, precision, and coordination that is honestly astonishing for such a small creature. The spider is not just fishing, it is actively hunting in three-dimensional space. As the moth flies within range, the spider begins to swing the sticky bola in a circular or pendulum-like motion. It whirls its weapon with increasing speed, aiming to intercept the moth's flight path. A direct hit is all it takes. The sticky globule instantly adheres to the moth's body, wings, or legs, ensnaring it completely. The moth's frantic struggles to escape are futile against the powerful, elastic silk line and its incredibly adhesive tip. Once the moth is securely snagged, the spider reels in its catch, much like an angler landing a fish. It pulls the helpless moth up, delivers a quick, paralyzing bite, and then wraps it in silk for later consumption. This highly specialized hunting strategy, combining chemical mimicry with a unique, weaponized tool, allows the bolus spider to thrive. It is a beautiful and deadly demonstration of how evolution can favor a very specific and very strange solution to the challenge of catching a meal. In the nutrient-starved peat swamps and tropical forests of the world, we find another group of plants that has turned to carnivory. These are the pitcher plants, passive trappers that have evolved some of the most beautiful and deadly structures in the botanical world. Their leaves have transformed into elaborate, pitcher-shaped vessels, often brightly colored and patterned to attract their prey. These pitchers are not just containers, they are complex, multi-stage traps. The lure is the first stage. The rim of the pitcher, known as the peristome, is often adorned with striking colors and patterns. It also secretes a copious amount of sweet nectar, an irresistible invitation to foraging insects like ants, flies, and wasps. As an insect arrives to sample the sugary treat, it finds itself on a surface that is both enticing and treacherous. The peristome is often incredibly slippery, especially when wet, offering little to no grip for tiny feet. This slippery rim is the point of no return. A single misstep sends the insect tumbling over the edge and into the pitcher's cavity. The inner walls of the pitcher present the next obstacle. They are coated with a layer of smooth, waxy scales that flake away, preventing the insect from climbing back out. Any attempt to gain a foothold is doomed to fail, and the victim slides inexorably downwards, deeper into the plant's waiting stomach. It is a one-way journey down a botanical water slide. At the bottom of the pitcher lies a pool of liquid. This fluid is a complex concoction, often containing rainwater mixed with powerful digestive enzymes secreted by the plant itself. In some species, the liquid is thick and viscous, trapping the insect and quickly drowning it. In others, it contains wetting agents that break the surface tension, causing even light insects to sink immediately. The struggling victim is quickly submerged and overcome. Once the insect is dead, the plant's digestive juices get to work. Much like the Venus flytrap, The pitcher plant breaks down the soft parts of its prey, creating a nutrient-rich broth. The plant then absorbs these vital minerals, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus, which are scarce in its native soil. The pitcher plant's trap is a perfect example of passive efficiency, a beautiful, deadly, and self-contained system for luring, capturing, and consuming its prey without moving an inch. For our final trap, we leave the world of insects and invertebrates and turn to a titan, an ancient predator, whose methods are as brutally effective today as they were millions of years ago. We are at the water's edge in a subtropical wetland, the hunting ground of the alligator. This apex predator is the embodiment of patience and explosive power. Its trap is the environment itself, and its trigger is the primal need for water shared by all terrestrial animals. The alligator begins its hunt by becoming one with the landscape. It submerges its colossal body, leaving only its eyes and nostrils breaking the surface, looking for all the world like a floating log. It can remain utterly motionless for hours, its metabolism slowed, conserving energy as it waits. The alligator watches, waits, and calculates. A deer, a raccoon, or a wild boar, driven by thirst, approaches the water's edge, oblivious to the mortal danger lurking just beneath the surface. It allows its prey to feel a false sense of security, to lower its head and begin to drink. This is the moment of maximum vulnerability. In a breathtaking explosion of power, the alligator launches itself from the water. Propelled by its immensely powerful tail, its body surges forward with incredible speed, covering the short distance in an instant. Its jaws, which can exert thousands of pounds of pressure, clamp down on the unsuspecting animal with bone-shattering force. The initial strike is often enough to disable the prey, but the alligator has an even more terrifying technique to ensure its victory, especially with larger animals. It drags its victim into the water, where it has the advantage. Then, it begins to spin its entire body on its longitudinal axis. This is the infamous death roll. This violent, corkscrewing motion serves two purposes. It disorients and drowns the victim, and it tears off manageable-sized chunks of flesh from the carcass. This primeval hunting strategy is a testament to raw reptilian power. The alligator's trap is not a structure it builds, but a scenario it creates through stealth, patience, and an intimate knowledge of its territory. It transforms a life-giving waterhole into a stage for a sudden, violent, and inescapable ambush. The death roll is the final, brutal act in a drama that is played out at the water's edge since the time of the dinosaurs, a stark reminder of the power of nature's most formidable hunters. From the microscopic precision of the antlion to the raw, explosive power of the alligator, we have witnessed the staggering diversity of nature's traps. Each one is a unique solution to the universal challenge of survival, a perfect blend of anatomy, behavior, and environment honed over millions of years of evolution. These stories reveal a world far more complex and cunning than we might imagine, where patience can be as deadly as venom, and a beautiful flower can hide a carnivorous secret. The relentless pressure to find the next meal has driven the creation of some of the most sophisticated biological machinery on our planet. The natural world is an endless source of such wonders, a library of stories waiting to be told. If you've been as fascinated by these deadly designs as I have, please subscribe to the IUF channel. By joining our community, you help us continue to explore and share these incredible tales from every corner of the globe. There are always more secrets to uncover, more behaviors to understand, and more beauty to witness in the intricate dance of life and death. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of nature's most ingenious traps. I hope it has given you a new appreciation for the clever and often ruthless strategies that life employs. Be sure to join us next time as we investigate another facet of the animal kingdom's marvels, the world of unbelievable animal superpowers, from shocking electrical defenses to the ability to regenerate entire limbs. Until then, stay curious.